Depression is a very debilitating and harmful disorder, and what's more troubling is how many people casually gloss over the issue. On social media, it is almost used as a synonym to being sad. This is not the case, and it seriously needs to be addressed. Factors of major depressive disorder are reduced interest and pleasure, poor ability to concentrate, indecisiveness, and poor motor movement. These symptoms can make it extremely difficult to accomplish goals and excel in personal endeavors. As a college student, this was very alarming to me, and I wanted to make a smartphone app to help other college students fight their depression and other factors that might contribute to the disorder. In order to make this app, I had to first come up with some goals. My goals became to find a neural connection with the brain and depression, what other factors contribute to depression, and what can anyone do to help their treatment of depression. To begin, I found that there is a shared connection to the prefrontal cortex and depression. Now, what is the prefrontal cortex, or the PFC? The PFC is essential in cognitive control and arranging thoughts and actions. When stress is added to the prefrontal cortex, some changes can occur, one of which is the increased level of cortisol. This cortisol can lead to the actual shrinking of the PFC and its neuroplasticity. When the PFC shrinks, selective attention, poor decision making, and poor fine and regular motor movement occurs, which are the same as the symptoms of major depressive disorder. Interesting, right? Also, there is research done by Treadway and Associates that discovered that deterioration in the PFC increases the number of depressive episodes. The next step I wanted to take was seeing if there was any other connection to depression that the average college student might have. So I did what any college student would do, and that was ask others for help. And one of my good friends told me that they had depression and they also had self-esteem issues. That really interested me. So I did some research and found that self-esteem is also a predictor of depression, and as self-esteem decreases, depression increases. Moreover, it was found that higher self-esteem leads to higher levels of happiness, while lower self-esteem was related to failure and feelings of inadequacy. Finally, I had to find a somewhat easy and affordable method to treat depression. So, it was hard for me to come up with a treatment, but I wanted to explore meditation or mindfulness cognitive-based therapy. This approach teaches awareness to ideas and actions that contribute to depression by looking at triggering moods and assisting people in understanding the ways in which their mentality fuels negative feelings and emotions. Meditation has the potential to increase the efficiency of the PFC and reduce depression without using medication, which is extremely important. Meditation has been shown to prevent depression by decreasing activity in the PFC while increasing gray matter. Researchers also found self-referential, cognitive-based therapy improves the chance of not having depressive symptoms, which implied that positive thinking and healthy activity promote a more positive self-image. With all the information gathered, I could finally create a mobile app that could treat depression by decreasing activity in the prefrontal cortex. The proposed application will be called Blue to New. The blue stands for depression and that feeling of being sad or blue, and the new means changing the state you are in now, starting new, and having a new outlook on life and how we handle stressful situations. The app will decrease activity by meditation and having a forum designed to provide encouragement and support to distressed students. This forum will serve as a peer cognitive therapy group. On this forum, people can make posts and other people will aid them by offering words of support by sharing their own stories and feelings. These forums don't have to be long, they can even be smiley faces or emoticons to offer people support. Another component the app will be notifications designed to improve positive self-talk and thinking. These notifications will say things like smile, today is a new day, or other quick phrases that may cheer somebody up. In order to see if this application would even work, I had to conduct an experiment and find ways to measure the results of the study. Participants in the study will be selected from students that attend Hampton University. There will be 7 participants, 35 male and 35 female, chosen at random. Consent forms will be distributed to all participants outlining their rights and informing them that they have the right to stop participating and voice their concerns at any time during the experiment. The forms will be in regulations of the Belmont Report. It will also be required that they are willing to participate for the duration of the study, which spans about 4 weeks. If not, the results from their participation will be discarded. Brain activity will be measured by a positron emission tomography scan. The PET scan works by tracing radioactive material to identify the location of neural connections. In this study, it will be used to track the activity in the PFC. There will also be a computer attached to the PET scan to record and obtain images. The data will be analyzed with the Pearson correlation coefficient. This measurement will be used to examine the strength between depression and the application use. Depression will be measured by the DAS-21 scale, which is a self-report scale that is designed to measure negative states such as depression, anxiety, and stress. The DAS is used because it uses a clinical approach to define mental disorders. The ions will measure the severity of distress in regards to depression, stress, and anxiety. Self-esteem will be measured by the Rosenberg self-esteem scale. The scale measures self-esteem by asking the participants to reflect on their current feelings by answering the various questions on the survey. The questions and statements pertain to self-worth and self-acceptance. Meditation will be guided by voice automation. The automated prompts will begin by relaxing the participants. After the relaxing portion, the automation will guide the participant through visualization exercise and questions to alleviate internal dialogue someone may have. Finally, to conclude the meditation, the automation will bring the participant out of the meditation state. The social support section, meant to help people's self-esteem, will have a variety of different sections. In this part of the application, there will be forums where people will write supporting comments designed to increase a person's self-esteem. The procedure for the experiment will begin by participants completing a DAS-21 and Rosenberg self-esteem scale to determine a baseline level for self-esteem and depression. The participants will also have a PET scan to examine normal brain activity in the prefrontal cortex. The images will be saved for comparison at the end of the study. Next, participants will begin meditating daily for 4 weeks during the study. Meditation will be at least 10 minutes long. If the user chooses to exit the application, the time will start over, forcing them to restart the meditation completely. The participants will also be required to scroll through various topics in social support for at least 10 minutes. Then after the minimum time has passed, a notification will request the user to rate the effectiveness of the reading. Effectiveness will be based on if the participant's self-esteem increased during the session. The participant will then be prompted to leave a message or quote in any social support section. The entries are not daily, but the participants will be required to submit at least 4 entries a week. At the end of the experiment, the participants will retake the DAS-21 and Rosenberg self-esteem scale to assess if their depressive symptoms decreased and if their self-esteem increased from the beginning of the study. Activity in the prefrontal cortex will also be reevaluated via PET scan to see if there was any increase or decrease in activity. Thank you for listening to my proposal, and I hope we can make Blue to New a reality for me and you.